what you people have done to me. I got this image in my mind of a bunch of drunk people on bicycles riding around looking for cans. I can't get that out of my head.
Melannie thought her fourth marriage would be the charm when she walked down the aisle with Daniel. But 8 years later, Melannie realizes that 4 definitely was not her lucky number.
He's a drunk. He takes like a backpack, and he comes back with no backpack, no bicycle.
So he gets drunk on a bicycle with a backpack?
Yep.
And he leaves the house? Yep. And he'll come back with a bicycle and no backpack?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Do you drink every day?
Well, if you have to live with this right here, yeah, you drink every day.
You drink every day?
Every day.
Now, how much do you drink every day?
You have to get rid of this right here.
Melannie and Daniel cannot forgive or forget their differences to make their marriage work. So look out, world. Melannie will be on the lookout for husband number 5 very soon. Today, on Divorce Court.
Come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Daniel Morris and Melannie Morris. Mr. and Mrs. Morris, you two have been married for 8 years, but you don't want to be married anymore. I have some financial matters that you would like me to resolve, and I will get to that momentarily. But before I do, Mrs. Morris, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here in divorce court today?
Okay, Your Honor. I'm on my 4th marriage, and I feel that Daniel needs to grow up. He pulls a disappearing act. He just takes off for 3 or 4 days and doesn't call, nothing. He comes back like nothing's happened, you know, and I'll say, well, where have you been? He says, oh, I was out making money for us. But he comes back broke, you know.
Mr. Morris, where are you going?
Ma'am,
Do you know?
well, yeah, I know. I'm trying to get away from some of the issues that me and her have. Okay, we get into a little bit of argument, whatnot.
So you
And
just
what I
taking
like to do is
breathers.
Huh?
You just taking breathers.
Breathers, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
getting away
I wanna
from her a little while,
yes,
get a
ma'am.
little breather,
You
get
got
your
it.
courage back up, then go on back home.
See there? You got it. That's what it is. And I try not to engage the issue any further than that. So I do the disappearing act, as she calls it. I call it a breather.
A breather, okay.
That's what I'm gonna call it from now on.
Well, no, I gave you the breather. That's what you're gonna call it from now on. I want my credit, you know. Mrs. Morris, is there static in the home?
Yes.
And who causes all the static?
Dan,
How does he cause the static?
because he's a drunk.
Well, that'll do it.
He's disrespectful.
Well, is he a happy drunk? Mean drunk?
Oh no, he starts out
sloppy
happy, and then
drunk?
all of a sudden, oh yeah, okay, we're getting there. He starts out okay, and then it turns into mean, and then it gets to where what? You know,
Water,
I
ladies
can't
and
even
gentlemen.
understand him. You know, he slurs.
He's just all over
Yeah,
the place.
yeah.
He's just undone.
Right, and along with all the belongings that he takes with him is everywhere. Never find it. You know.
What do you mean he
Like
takes
what?
his
Yeah.
belongings with him?
Well, he takes like a backpack, and he comes back with no backpack, no bicycle.
So he gets drunk on a bicycle with a backpack?
Yep.
And he leaves the house?
Yep.
And he'll come back with a bicycle and no backpack?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Morris, are you drunk cycling out there?
Okay, ma'am. There's a good possibility of that, but whose backpack and bicycle is it? Mine. Okay.
But now, Mr. Morris, how often do you drink? Do you drink every day?
Well, if you have to live with this right here, yeah, you drink every day.
You drink every day?
Every day.
Now, how much do you drink every day?
Enough to get rid of this right here. Every day.
Now, why are you so? What is she doing that makes you have to drink?
Okay, well, she took a few stabs at me, but I'm gonna try this right here. She is a very, we call it volatile person.
Okay.
She has a personality that really is filled with anger. And she was married to this person. They're still together as far as I'm concerned, because he has been in our life and in our marriage.
So he's always around.
Always around. Okay.
Does she like him being around, or is he just a problem?
For a minute, and then next thing I know, them two are fighting worse than me and her are. Okay. So
Are you still all engaged with one of your ex-husbands?
You know, I talk to
Good
him
question.
still, but who engages him is Dan. Dan, when he goes on his
You talk-
disappearing acts, runs into
The
my
ex.
ex. And so then Mr. Morris over here invites him to come and stay with us. So
Not quite
that's
true.
how I'm always engaged with my
Do
ex-husband.
you
is
invite her
because he does it.
ex-husbands to come over and stay?
Ma'am, I'm guilty of doing that when I first met him, and then I realized that once I'd done that, he doesn't leave. So you got, you know, the unwanted guest that never leaves.
How small a town do you live in?
It's
Portland,
not
Oregon.
that small. It's not that small, but it's small
Are
enough.
all your exes still in town?
Yes, ma'am. Every single one of
Yes.
them, except
Now,
for one.
Mrs. Morton, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. You're not that old of a woman. You're not about the same age. I'm a little older, but we won't get into that. You've had 4 husbands. You're trying to get rid of your 4th husband. Do you see a pattern here in your behavior, and in either who you pick or how you treat them or what you expect that is causing you to run through so many husbands?
My picker's broke.
Your picker's broke.
Yes.
Wow.
What are you attracted to?
Imagine that.
I guess men like him. When he drinks, he turns into Jekyll and Hyde, and he's just like the others.
Do you drink?
Nope. I don't want to be like that. You know, the slobbering
But
drunk
you have
that
been
tries.
like that, Melanie.
I have not been like that.
Okay,
like
when
you.
I'm off
Does
on my
Mrs.
jobs.
Morris drink, Mr. Morris?
Yes, ma'am, she does, and she doesn't currently. She doesn't drink with me, okay, per se. But when I'm off on my jobs, out of state, and doing my stuff, every time I call, she's drinking. She's drunk, and she's went through you know, a number of bottles of booze while I'm on the road, but she never
So
drinks with
how do
me.
you know what she's doing while you're gone?
She tells me. She has no problem telling me.
Wow. Okay.
When divorce court continues, is Daniel cheating on Melanie?
I was riding a bicycle, and lo and behold, I passed Mr. Morris and some other lady on a bicycle. And of course, I rolled back and I said, so who is she?
Divorce isn't easy. If you want to share your story, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce court is back with the case of Melanie Morris, who is divorcing her 4th husband because she says he is an alcoholic. But is the demise of this marriage entirely his fault?
You say that she treats you like a child. Mrs. Morris, you think he's cheating on you. Why is that?
Well, okay, Your Honor. He likes to go when he, you know, sometimes he disappears and he goes off on certain nights. He likes to go canning, you know, picking up cans. And
Canning. I've never heard it called canning before.
Canning?
All right.
It's not a way to make a living, but
I thought he was putting up preserves, but I, you know.
yeah, no.
Go ahead.
I left my friend's house and I was riding the bicycle, and lo and behold, I passed Mr. Morris and some other lady on a bicycle.
Okay.
And of course, I rolled back and I said, so who is she? Oh, I just met her at the store, and so I invited her to go canning with me.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Now,
Now, you know what
And then, you know,
you know what you people have done to me? I got this image in my mind of a bunch of drunk people on bicycles riding around looking for cans. I can't get that out of my head. I mean, you work, don't you?
I'm a full-time student.
You're a full-time student. Do you work?
yes, ma'am, I do. Now, can I explain this part, what she brought up here?
Go right ahead,
Okay,
sir.
how in the world does meeting up with a lady, and canning is a way to, it's a breather.
Uh-huh.
That's part of my breather, remember?
Right.
Okay. Now, how does that end up being me sleeping with a lady?
Now,
It doesn't equal that
when
to
she
me.
was on your bicycle, was she like on the handlebars or?
No. I had another bike. I have 2 bikes. Well, actually, we have several bikes. Because Portland's a bicycle, probably one of the better places to have a bicycle.
Have a bike, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And we got several bikes, and she didn't have a bike, and
Well,
allowed
I
her
never
to use
even
my
saw the
bike.
bike.
Huh?
I've never seen the bike before. So the other lady was
How
the
did
first
you
one to
get
ride
out
it.
there with 2 bikes and then you just ran into someone who happened to need a bike and you happened to have a spare one on you?
Because he snuck back and took it from the house.
Well, no,
so she
I
would
didn't
have
sneak
one.
back. We both went over there together to get the bike, and she was asleep. She had the opportunity to go with me.
So she was asleep.
She was asleep.
And you were out canning.
Yes, ma'am.
You meet another lady.
Yes, ma'am.
She wants to go biking. You take her back to the house, get a bike, and you guys go off biking together.
Picking up cans and then and doing
Biking
that.
and canning.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. And drinking.
And drinking.
Yes, ma'am.
At
Well,
midnight.
that fills up the image for me there. That's where we are. You say that she treats you like a child when it comes to your finances. Explain that to me.
I've been down in the trenches where you've had nothing. And I'm not too far from there right now. I'm just waiting for this next job to kick off. But now,
I'm not laughing at you. You're just funny. I mean, the way you say stuff, you just tickle me. It's just everything's, hey, you know, you got a point. But go ahead, Mr. Morris. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to laugh it off and trying to roll with it, you know. And it's like I see people where I have been, and I think where I get accused of doing is giving too much of my little bit of money I do have away. I don't mind helping people.
Took us all day to get there, but we got there.
I didn't mean
Ms.
to,
Morris,
but-
are you afraid that when he does get money, he spends it inappropriately, he gives it away, he drinks it away?
Yeah.
Is that your issue?
Yes, like he owed a gentleman $10. Well, he goes and gives him 20. Okay? Why are you giving him an extra 10? Well, because I thought, you know, because one of these days we might need help. That's all I hear from him, is, you know,
And we have
this
needed
person's
help.
down and out. This person's down. All of his friends are down and out, and so all of his friends take all of our extra money. You know, I don't mind him paying back what he owes, but when he has to pay back more,
Twice
then,
of what he owes, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when I get,
When divorce court continues, is Melannie stealing Daniel's hard-earned cash?
My wife, she has access to my checks. But when you get home and you don't have any money,
Mrs. Morris? Since Melannie has had 4 husbands, do you think she's the biggest reason why she can't stay married? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers.
If you would like your case heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter @divorcecourt. Divorce Court returns with the case of Melannie Morris, who says her husband is too much of a pushover to be trusted with their finances.
He's just a pansy, is what he is. So that's why I have to take control.
He's a pansy.
Yeah, I have to take control.
when I'm on the road, normally I don't have access to my paychecks. So they usually go to a central office. And my wife, she has access to my checks.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I'm gone, sometimes a month or 2 at a time.
Right?
And so when I come home, you would think that, you know, at $1,000 a week, that's the average. That's just for my wages. My per diem is what I'm living off of.
And your wages go straight into the central. She has access to them, and it's a fair amount of money.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad living. But when you get home and you don't have any money,
Mrs. Morris, is he accurate with respect to how much he makes and your access to it?
Yeah, it's the only time I had access to it is when he moved me to a totally different state I've never been to in my entire life, didn't know anybody. And of course we were living in like this camper trailer, had nothing. And yeah, his boss cashed the checks for me and gave me his cash, and I used as I saw
our
fit.
cash, Melannie.
So are you in charge of the main money?
She was.
Even though he's making it, are you in charge of it? Which is fine.
Yeah, I would like to be, but he pulled the reins back on that.
Oh, so he's in charge
Yeah.
of the main money now.
Yeah, and
Is he
That's
generous
dangerous.
to everybody else and tight-fisted with you, or
Oh,
is he
yeah.
just generous
Oh, yeah.
all the way around?
yeah, it's when I act right, if I can get some money, or if I, you know, if I give him respect, then I get some money.
Do you say stuff like that, Mr. Morris? She keeps talking about that, so I
well-
think you do.
I probably do. I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't. I mean, but you know, I don't know, I was raised in the South. I don't know if y'all could tell by the way I talk or whatever, but you know, I got that Southern accent. And where we were raised back in the South is, you respect each other, and you respect your elders, you respect your women and children, and the whole ball of wax. And men usually run the house, and around where I grew up at, and the women usually run, well, the men take care of the finances, the women run the house. And I've given her the opportunity to take care of our money and stuff, and I've seen over, and not just the one time she's talking about, it's been more than once. I mean,
Okay.
He's just a pansy, is what he is. So that's why I have to take control.
He's a pansy.
Yeah, I have to take control.
Well, that was deep and out of left field.
Well, it's because he's too lenient. He's too giving, and somebody has to be in charge.
When divorce court continues, did Melannie leave a permanent mark on Daniel's broken heart?
The tattoo equipment is my life, my art. I'm an artist. She sold a couple of my kits while I was away from my breather.
Why did you do that? Since Melannie has had 4 husbands, do you think she's the biggest reason why she can't stay married? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers.
Divorce court returns with the case of Daniel and Melannie Morris, who are ending their marriage after 8 years.
Mr. Morris, as you leave and join the long line of exes Mrs. Morris has, you want to take $700 with you. Explain that to me.
Well, okay. During one of her fits, whatever, I don't know what caused the fit, or anger, or what happened, but see, the tattoo equipment is my life, my art. I'm an artist.
So you're suing her for a tattoo kit?
For a couple of them, and she sold a couple of my kits while I was away from my breather. We discussed earlier.
Did you sell his tattoo kits while he was away for a breather?
Yes, I did.
And why did you do that?
Because he was on a way for his breather. You know, he
was it out of anger or was it out of need? Did you need the money or you were just miffed?
I did. It's a little of both.
And she got hardly nothing out of it compared to what I had to pay for it.
Did you sell them for cheap?
Yeah, I guess.
How long ago did you do this?
About a couple months ago.
A couple months ago. How much does a tattoo kit of this variety cost new?
Well, you can look it up on the internet. It'll run you about $350.
$350
for one of them.
For one.
And if you got to replace 2 of them, it's about $700.
Do you have any idea of the worth of the kits that you sold?
Yes, I do.
You should have, because
I've bought
she's helped me. She's helped me pay for it.
Do you believe that $350 is an accurate sum?
Yes.
Okay. How much did you get for them?
$75.
Oh. You know,
well,
anger and money should never end up in the same room together.
Right.
Because anger just kills the money, just shreds it all up.
Yep.
It goes out in smoke and you don't get anything for it. You don't even get the heat off of it.
Right.
It just goes away.
I know.
You know, so never put anger and money in the same room. Don't get $1, take $1. You know, sell something while you're mad.
Right.
You got to be calm when you're working with money, because money is cool. Money don't care. Money's not interested in how you feel. Money just is.
Right.
And you got to either deal with it or get blown over by it, right?
Right.
Never be mad with the money.
Okay.
All right? Mr. Morris, I like you. You about put me to sleep, but I like it. You're over there waving and you got your arms out and you're talking about the bicycles and the cans and the lady on the handlebars, and it just was like, oh my God, is he ever gonna stop? He seemed like a nice enough guy. I would suggest that you handle your alcohol before your alcohol takes you out. You just gotta handle it. I mean, you know, all that. Mrs. Morris, you got to decide that you're going to make you happy and not look for it in a guy, because it'll always be insufficient if you're looking for it from somewhere else, because they can't fill all the holes that you have because they don't know where they are.
Right.
And you need to know where they are. You got to find them and fill them yourself, and then go with a guy who likes the woman you end up being.
Right.
That's what you do. In the meantime, in between time, you sold 2 $350 kits, and you got to pay them back. $700 in favor of Mr. Morris? It is so worth it.
All right. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Daniel and Melannie have had second thoughts about final